What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to speak to you about mental illness and by extension your mental health. Specifically, what are the different types of mental illnesses that most of us are suffering from? What are the warning signs to look for? What are the things you should and should not say to somebody who is suffering from one mental illness or the other? The first thing I want to touch on is the fact that mental illness does not have a specific look. It is not what we classify as mad people on the street. It is wider and more diverse than that. And I'm sure many of the persons who know me cannot just look at me and assume that I'm suffering from one of these illnesses. You're not going to know because I mask it so very well. I mask it very well. And I've been suffering with depression. Let me just tell you the different types, the most common. Depression, anxiety disorder, bipolar, obsessive compulsive disorder, and schizophrenia. Now, when I look at this list, I think I have a touch of every single one of these except for schizophrenia. I have a touch of every one of them, in my opinion. But depression is what has been plaguing me for most of my life. From when I was 15 years old to now. I remember my first attempt at suicide was at age 16. Nobody knew what I was feeling. Nobody knew what I was going through. Nobody even knew that I attempted suicide. Nobody knew nothing. They know nothing. And I would like to say, God saved my life that day. And He continues to save my life. He continues to save my life because if it was up to me, I would have been dead. That's the truth. If it was up to me, because nobody knew, and I'm stressing at that, nobody knew anything at all. For years, I thought I'd gotten over it. I had more than one attempt, but for the past month or so, I remember about a month or so ago, I went to bed, and I went to bed in tears, and I was crying. I remember before I fell asleep, I prayed and I asked the Lord to not wake me up because the pain was so intense and I could not see a way out of what I was feeling and what I was going through. I did not see a way out. And I prayed and I asked God to just don't let me wake up, because I'm like, okay, if He is in control of not making me wake up, then at least it would be better for me to handle rather than me committing suicide, right? So I prayed for Him not to wake me up. And I remember when I woke up, I started cuss. Seriously. I started cussing God because I'm like, why did you wake me up? I asked you not. I begged you not to wake me up. And in the middle of cussing God, I literally, it's clear as day. I remember, I don't know, whatever feeling or whatever is it that I heard. I remember something saying to me or feeling that if I woke you up, I will make it okay. And immediately, guys, I felt this relief. There's this peace, this calming thing that came over me. And it was from that moment. So what you're seeing with me now is the best of me. It's the best of me. Because whatever I experienced that day, I was like, okay, God, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. And you have taken me through so many things. I don't want to cry. You have taken me through so many things. And if you're telling me now that I'm going to make it okay, even though it seems dark, even though you don't see a way out, I'm going to make it okay. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. And so that for me was a awakening moment because nobody knew, as I said. And this is what's going to now lead me to say that the fact that nobody knew as loved ones, guys, if you have family members, if you have friends, whomever it is that you're close to and you know, please look at the warning signs. Some of the things to look for is the fact that people start worrying excessively. They start being paranoid. You know, they start having anxiety, and it's beyond what you know that they are supposed to be. They're now socially withdrawn. Well, that's difficult to get with me because I personally am an introvert, so I'm naturally socially withdrawn. So, but these are some of the signs. If you see difference in their eating patterns or their sleeping patterns, these are some of the signs. If they're in a state of being sad for an extremely long period of time, you know, it's not normal. Yes, we go through life and we go through sad moments, but If they're being sad for a particular long period of time, you need to look. You need to look at what's happening with them, check up on them, check with them, and see what you can do. And I know that many persons don't talk about it because people don't know what to say. I've had so many experiences. People don't know that I'm suffering, but they just know that I'm in a mood. And I've had so many experiences of people just saying the wrong things. People just saying the wrong things. And I just wanted to just hit somebody, and that's the truth. Some of the things that you're not supposed to say to somebody who is suffering from a mental illness is telling them that it's all in their head. These are things that don't help, guys. Telling them that it could be worse. Yeah, we kind of know that, but we're not thinking about what we were blessed with yesterday or what we could be blessed with the days down the road. All we're thinking about now, as a person who is suffering through it, is that all we're thinking now is what we're going through. That's it, nothing else. Some of the other things is, telling people that they have a lot to be thankful for. Snapping out of it, cheer up. I hate that one, the cheer up part. Yeah. Cheer up doesn't help. It's one of the things that doesn't help. Another thing is saying to people that suicide is selfish. That's very easy for you to say because you're not going through it or you haven't gone through it. Very easy. I remember a coworker standing in front of me. She doesn't know anything about me like that. And I remember her talking about suicide, and she's speaking passionately about how this is selfish act and stuff. And I'm like, okay, wow. I'm listening and I'm like, okay. If only she knew, if only she knew. The one that got me is you tell people to drink some tea. I never forget. I personally had this experience. And us as Jamaican, drink ginger tea for everything. I remember telling somebody that I wasn't feeling well because I didn't know how to talk about what I was going through. So I just simply say I wasn't doing well. The person said, yeah man, drink some ginger tea, man. Yeah, that solved everything. Drink some ginger tea. And I'm like, it's not fixable by tea. It's not fixable by you telling me to cheer up. None of those things. So with all of that list of things what not to say to somebody, the question is, what do you actually say? The first thing is to listen. If the person wants to talk, listen. I always remember Job's friends. If you read the Bible, Job's friends sat there with him for 7 days in silence when he was going through his stuff. And the moment they opened their mouth, trouble. So be like Job's friend within those 7 days. Just listen. Listen. If the person want to talk, listen. Letting them know that you are there for them is another thing, right? Asking them, how can I help? And don't just be polite with it. Actually be prepared to actually help if they ask you for help. Because it's not okay just to be polite. Because most of the times people are suffering from one mental illness or the other. They need help. They need help. And they're suffering from stuff that they don't understand how to deal with. And if somebody is there to actually offer help, it would make their lives a little bit easier. One of the other things that you can actually say is offer professional help. Because some of these illnesses, we can actually help people to get out of it ourselves, but a lot of the times the level at which persons are at needs professional help. So offer professional help. And I always say, listen, nothing beats, when you're going through something and somebody just hug you, you feel that love and warmth. Just hug them and just let them know, I am here for you. You don't understand, but I am here for you. Just hug them and tell them that you're here for them. That for me, you can't go wrong with giving somebody a hug and actually trying to be there for them as best as you can, because people are going through some serious stuff and it is difficult. We're going through difficult times. So I beg you guys to pay attention. The warning signs are there. Pay attention. Pay attention. Do what you can do to help those. As long as it's within your power. If it's out of your power, then we have different organizations that can actually go out and help people. But I say pay attention, because the first thing is actually to pay attention. You're not going to know that somebody is going through something if you can't say that they move from this extreme to that, right? So the first thing is actually see the warning signs and then you can move forward. But just be nice, be gentle to people. Don't tell people that, hey, life is all good. It's not all good for everybody. It's not all good for everybody, and everybody deal with problems differently. So when this season of the season that we're in now, where people are losing their loved ones, losing jobs, losing their home, losing their relationships, even losing their minds. It is time for us to get to the point where we allow people to speak about, because that's another thing, allowing people to speak about what they're going through, and don't demonize them, don't criticize them, don't ridicule them. Allow them to speak, because if somebody's crying for help, it means that they need help. It means that they need help. So guys, I'm imploring and I'm asking you, because we're going through a serious time now, do what you can for those who you see around you that are suffering from one of these illnesses or the other. Do what you can to be there for people. Until next, I hope this video was enlightening for some people, or for those who are watching, and I hope you learn a little bit more about me as well, because as the videos go, as the videos come, it's really just about learning about me, what I'm going through and stuff like that. So until then guys, be true to you and live life authentically. See you guys soon.